Welcome back to the Uncut podcast, the Uncut show. Episode 10. We're on the 10th episode now. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for coming to episode 10 if you're here. We're gonna talk about basically the things that got us into pop culture. So that'll be, maybe movies, comics, TV shows.
Major hint here for me.
Anything. Yeah, Finton's is, very obviously Finton's is whatever that is. Now I'm joking. I know it's Pokemon. I'm just taking the piss. But
I was gonna say, if you say that you
imagine
don't
if
know
I
what that
actually
is,
didn't know.
I would just
that would
end
be really
the entire YouTube channel. We would be done.
We just cancel, just delete YouTube, never go on it again.
Yeah.
And just become a stripper. But we're not going to do that.
Whoa!
I thought that was okay.
I didn't realise that was the plan.
To know about that one. I reckon we could do it, but we're not going to. We're going to stick with YouTube and we're going to do this podcast instead. So we want to talk about the things that really got us into, like, I don't like saying pop culture, but yeah, pop culture. For me, it's more like the arts and things like that, and things that I love. But this was mainly Finton's idea. So Finton, do you want to just start us off? Tell me how you got into like games.
Games are probably the
kind
first.
Of obvious,
but there is more to it than that, I promise. But like, my brother, from like a very young age, like we had an original Xbox and stuff. So me and my brother just played, like, it was never a big deal. We just played like games whenever. But then Fergus, who's my older brother, he got I want to say it was a DS at the time, because it wasn't a DS Lite yet. But he got a DS and was playing the first one I remember is he was playing like Pokemon Pearl or something, and I just really wanted to play it. So then when the next one came out, I ended up buying that, and then I got my own DS in the process. Basically, Nintendo was my childhood.
This is when the
Wii
started.
Yeah, Nintendo. Literally, like my babysitter brought around a GameCube.
Money that he didn't even have.
This is true. Like my babysitter used to come around. She used to have a GameCube that I would spend, like, because we didn't have one, I'd spend all my time playing that, like Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon. Like I would spend loads of time playing them. And then like the Wii. Oh my god, the Wii was just the best console ever made. Like the memories I have. No, but it's not in terms of like power and stuff, but in terms of like the memories that I'm looking back on. Like they're always just. Like Wii Sports Resort, the amount of time I spent playing that game was just unholy. But yeah, like the one that got me into like actual...
It's so crazy to me that you say that, because I have never owned any Nintendo game, console, anything. The longest experience I had with a Wii was my uncle bought one, I think. Uncle Chris, big up Uncle Chris. But yeah, he bought one. And I was at the house and I was playing some zombie game. I don't know what it was, right? But I used to love going to the house and playing on the Wii. And then one day I went there and the Wii weren't there. I was like, what happened? And they were like, oh, we sold it. We bought curtains instead. And as a kid, I was just like, what do you mean you bought curtains instead? I was so hurt. But yeah, that's my only experience.
I mean, to be fair, we have sold our Wii, but me and my brother have been talking about buying one again, because like,
I thought you had a Switch. Oh, I guess it's different though. Yeah.
I've bought myself a GameCube because I never owned one, and was just like the games on that are just incredible. I've got.
Oh my god.
Basically every.
Fuck.
Basically
you just got
every
like an
DS.
Infinite source of income, don't you? To just spend.
I work every week.
What?
I literally work 3 days a week every week. I live at home. I have no outgoing expenses.
Every time this guy speaks to me, he's like, "Yeah, man, I just bought this other thing that I don't need, but I saw it and it was."
It's coming from the person who messaged me on. On Thursday, he messaged me like, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking about getting AirPods." So, pros, by the way.
Okay. Yes.
We're as bad as each other. We are as bad as each other.
It's not as. Yeah, to be fair, we are both quite bad.
We are as bad as each other.
I'm working again now, so
Yeah, this is the thing, right? I've worked from home since the start of the pandemic.
Let's not.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know, like, games
YouTube delisted, demonetized, deleted, gone.
But yeah, like I don't know, I've just always had Nintendo, like, well, not just Nintendo, but games in general. Like my nan when I used to go around there, one of my cousins had a PlayStation 2. I remember spending loads of time playing the Transformers games on the PlayStation 2. That was my only experience with the PlayStation until I bought a PS4. Because in our house we had the original Xbox.
You had a PS2.
I honestly, I'm one of those people that I'm like, I would probably buy consoles and never play them. Like older ones. Like I've been thinking about buying like an N64, an original. Like I have an original PlayStation somewhere back there. I've been thinking about getting like a N64 or something like that because I really want to play old Zeldas because I never played them, like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and all that. I'm like, I really want to play them. And if they're not going to bring them to Switch, which I assume they would in that direct, then I'm like, I might just buy an N64. Like not anytime soon, but I'm like, I'm one of those people that likes collecting stuff. So like to have like maybe a display cabinet with all them in, I'm like, that is really appealing.
I know what you mean. And I have thought before, like when they dropped that PS1 classic, I thought, oh, maybe I'll buy one of them. But then I didn't because apparently it was a bit shit. But
yeah, they didn't even include joysticks on that. So do you not know? Well, do you not know this story? So the original. This is what I mean by I just know so much ridiculous knowledge, right? So like just completely irrelevant. I don't know why I know this.
This is such a tangent, but I need to know.
No, it still counts because we're still talking about like childhood games, right? So when the original PlayStation thing was released, right? Let me get the DualSense, right? So these didn't exist. It was literally you use this. So on the original one,
I know that.
And then like 3 months into making the console, they added joysticks. But on the PlayStation Classic, they did it without these. They only had that. So they gave you games like they had like Tom Clancy games that you can't even like you need this for because it was made with the joysticks in mind that you then can't use because they haven't put the joysticks on it. It was so bad.
Can you not use a DualSense? Could you not use like a PS4 controller?
No, it was literally it was a wired specific one. It's like the NES and stuff. You can only use the NES connectors. Like I've got the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, just because they're just like they're like that big. They're tiny, but they've got so many games on them.
That's
and yeah, I think Nintendo got it right. PlayStation screwed it up.
See, just going back to like what we were saying about how we got into games, for example, like my passion for nah. This was the main point, but
let's get back to where we were. We're not even 10 minutes in, and we've tangented like a million miles away from the question.
It's fine. It's the vibes. But my like passion for games really came from like my older cousin Michele. So like my dad had a PS1, which was given to me, right? And I used to play Crash Bandicoot on the PS1. I don't think I ever even got past the first level. Like I think I just used to replay.
I struggle with Crash
first level over and over again.
So hard.
Yeah, me too. I've got the Insane trilogy, and it's like it's so hard. But as a kid, I didn't care. I thought it was really cool, and I had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater as well. I thought that was sick. But again, like I didn't understand what the game was about. I just used to skate around and like do tricks, and I thought I was really good, and I wasn't. But my cousin Michele, I was speaking to him not long ago, but I used to go to his house, right? And he had a PS2. And for me as a kid, this was sick because at this point, I don't even know if the PS3 was out yet. But he had a PS2 and we used to play Street Fighter. That was so cool. I used to love Street Fighter. Even though I'm not a fighting game person, as a kid, I was like, oh my God. And I remember now, but back as a kid, I didn't realize. But now I look back, and what he used to do is he used to put me in the practice mode where it was you against the AI, but the AI doesn't fight back. And I just used to beat the shit out of the AI, man, as like a little 4 or 5 year old kid.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I was rubbish, but it was so fun. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man's always been in my life. Like we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, and even the Spider-Man 1 game he had. I remember he had that, and I was shocked, but it was really
the Spider-Man 2 game on PlayStation. Like, I never played it, but from what I've heard about it, like that was genuinely an incredible game for its time.
I played it. It was so cool. That and damn man, I can't remember the name of it, but it's that cartoony one that they made based off the cartoon, and and you could play as Venom and stuff. That was excellent.
Marvel. Is that Marvel vs. Capcom?
No. It wasn't a fighting game. It was a Spider-Man game. I'll find the name of it.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know. But it was a Spider-Man game, but it was cartoon aesthetic. It was really, really good. You know what? Superhero games I've always played superhero games because then I got a PS3 I moved to England, got a PS3 for Christmas. My parents got me that as like a, welcome to England type thing for Christmas.
Yeah, not only have we moved you across the country, no, we'll give you a console as well.
Lego games. Yeah, exactly. I was obsessed with Lego games. I know you quite like them as well. I still am. I still like them to this day. I'm a massive nerd, like I always say. But yeah, Lego games. Minecraft was like a big thing for years. The Spider-Man games on PS3, and then eventually, we got to the PS4, PS5 era. But we'll leave that for later. But
I was really
those are some of like the
weird as a
first
kid.
formative games I played.
What did you play? I never played superhero games. Like, I only got into superheroes when I was like 12, 13. Like, I've become I was instantly obsessed with them. But I didn't really, like, literally, my childhood was Nintendo. Up until like 11 or 12, when I started to like, I spent all my time either playing Pokemon games, watching the Pokemon anime, which is just the heartbreak that appeared. Like, that is genuinely one of the best like TV shows ever. If you watch the Pokemon, like the original, like not the new stuff. The new stuff is trash. But you watch like
the OG stuff. I used to watch that.
Like the first 5-6 years of the anime plus the movies. Oh my god! Like,
some of them movies are sad as hell, man.
Have you watched the first movie?
Can't lie.
I cry. I still cry watching that film.
This guy cries at everything, though. Don't be fooled.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I am very proud of it.
I'll be like, oh, have you seen this comedy? He's like, yeah, man, it made me cry. I'm like,
whoa, no, it's never that
what
bad.
Are you crying at?
It's never that bad.
Nah, I'm playing, man. But see, for me, superheroes is always like a big thing. But I think the reason for that is so I grew up for like the first 7 years of my life in Italy, and basically everything technological there is about 10 years behind, like especially back in like the early 2000s. So in the early 2000s, and plus it was only the early 2000s. So I was born in like 2002. So
I hope so, or you've been lying about how old you are.
Huh?
You said you were born in 2002. I was like, I hope so. Otherwise, you've been lying to me for 18 for like 6 months.
Yeah, I'm actually 12, but nah, I was born in 2002, and so yeah, like I grew up watching the like the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s, the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, and so I used to see them on TV and be like, this is so cool. Like, I love this. And then when I found out that they were like games as well, I was like, oh my god. And then we'll talk about movies later, but movies was a big thing, but we'll get onto that after we've done this little gaming bit. But yeah, and as well, to be fair, I used to read some of the comics. My mum used to buy me comics sometimes in Italy, but I was never, because I was such a little kid, I didn't really understand that it was like, oh, you buy this comic and then you buy, the same issue of that comic for like the next 4 weeks. So for me, I used to just read them and be like, oh my god, it's Spider-Man, and thought it was really cool. And then I had like
I wasn't a big superhero fan when I was younger, but I definitely was into them. And like, I remember always, it would always be like, if you know what the Works is, that shop, they always used to have like really cheap graphic novels. It's basically just really cheap. It's a cheap as hell shop. If anyone knows it, then they'll get what I'm on about. But you could get like graphic novels that go from like the RRP on the back is like 30 quid, and you can buy them in a Works for a tenner. So they would make no sense when you read them. Like you'd be thrown into the middle of this story, but just as like you said, as a kid, it was just like, this is awesome.
Yeah, because obviously you don't understand it, but you're just like, I don't care. It's superheroes beating people up. But yeah, man, yeah, like when it comes to gaming, it was definitely, I think I'd say that I became more passionate about it and it as a creative medium when I got older, for sure.
Yeah, so absolutely. Same with me.
So like more recently, I'd say even maybe when I was like, I'd say I was about 16 when I started appreciating like video games as like art and really sort of understanding like the mechanics of it and getting into different types of games. Because like I say, when I was younger, I used to mainly play like Lego games, Spider-Man games. So for example, I really enjoyed the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 when I played them through as a kid.
Yeah, the second one. I played the second one. Like, people trashed Spider-Man. It, and I was like, it's so like, I don't know if it was just because I was so young, but I was like, I love that.
See, looking back at it now, I can't play it. It's so bad. Like, if I go back to it now, it genuinely causes me pain because it's like it's graphically inferior than the first one. It's like shit. The combat isn't great. Like it's just bad. It's just not a good game. But back then I was like, oh, I don't care. But now that I'm older, I've got that mindset of understanding like what is good, what isn't as good. I actually enjoy games more, and obviously, you know, now I'm big age of 18. I've got my own money. I've got a job. Like I can buy whatever game I fancy. So I find myself taking more risks with games because, like back in the day, you know, when you're like a 13-year-old,
it was one game a month, like at best.
One game
at
a
best.
month.
Yeah, no, I mean like at worst, like. Nah, you know what I mean? It's like it was like that kind of not a month at all. I don't know why I said a month, but like every couple of months.
I was gonna say I used to get like a couple games at Christmas and then maybe one in like the middle of the year, and that was it.
No, the reason I was thinking it is because it goes Christmas and then my birthday's in March. So I was like, but then that's usually it. Then it's like March. But yeah, you'd have to pick a game that you knew you were gonna spend so much time in.
Smash it out. Exactly. So like the Lego games are always a safe bet for me as a kid. And then like I say, when I got a bit older, I got into like Minecraft, and that can last you forever.
Mine was always F1 games.
Play Mario,
like I know I've said this a lot, but like
you're into your F1 games
until Spider-Man PS4, I basically only played F1 games religiously. Like apart from like Pokemon and stuff, but on a home console, I basically only played F1 games religiously. They were like the yearly. I'd get them every single year. Like that would be the birthday present. That would be a new F1 game.
That's wild. I mean, because now like you play everything. Like he's playing. You're playing God of War, aren't you?
Yeah. I got so like this is a total tangent, but I got
video coming on God of War as well. So
I got abused by God of War.
So this guy, he texts me. So I'd played the game at this point because it's on the PS Plus collection. So I goes to him, oh yeah, I've played through God of War. It's really good. You should play it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna finish it. He goes to me after like a day of playing it. He's like, bro, I've reached the peak. I was like, what? The peak? Obviously, spoilers for God of War. I was like, you've reached the peak. And then in my head, it clicked. There's 2 peaks in that game. You get to the first one, and it's like
it doesn't like tell you. You spent like 10 hours. You spent like 10 hours going to the top of the first mountain for you to get to the top of the first mountain. It's like, yeah, this isn't the highest place in all the realms. You've got to go to Jotunheim. I'm like, well, thank you for telling me that now.
Getting to that highest mountain is no joke either. You've got to like go there, back up, you know, go somewhere else, do something.
Don't tell me that.
Crazy.
For God's sake.
No. I'm saying to the first peak that you got to. I'm saying it's not an easy journey. So it's crazy.
In the next one, I was like, I can't be doing that again. But yeah, I don't like, and like you said, it took me a long while getting older to realize like what a good game was. Like genuinely, the first game that like, apart from Pokemon games, because like basically the 2 constants in my life are Pokemon games and F1 games. But like getting to play Spider-Man, because by that point I was really, really into Spider-Man, because like that was what 3 years ago at this point. Came out in 2018, didn't it?
2018. So yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah, like
crazy.
That's
crazy.
Because like in the nicest way, Xbox is Halo or Gears of War, and I only had an Xbox up at that point, and that they are basically your options. Or you play like Forza Horizon, but that again, that's a racing game. So like, but it's in like
I actually really want Xbox to start having some crazy exclusives, because there are some like this is the thing with me. I want to buy an Xbox Series X when they're actually finally available and easy to buy, right?
Totally didn't buy one from eBay.
Managed to get one.
I didn't manage to get one. We found one on eBay.
Still managed to get one, but the problem is that
I want to clarify just before people say that I spend way too much money. I didn't put a penny towards it. My brother bought it. I just play Halo on it for free.
He has all the next gen shit, and he only paid for one of them, so it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I really, really want to get a Series X, but I can't justify spending that money because there aren't games on there that I'm going to play. And I know people will say, Halo, Gears of War. I don't really like first-person shooters. I don't play COD. I don't play Battlefield.
To be fair,
I've jumped into them.
Gears isn't a first person to get. Like I get where you're coming from. Totally, I'm the same, but like
Gears, I'd find more playable. I could get into it more. But again, like the original trilogy is all older games. I don't really care for them, and I know they're like boosted and stuff on the Series X, so maybe I'd play for that. But
they look incredible. Like I'm playing Combat Evolved, which is an Xbox original. It's just it's incredible. I don't know how they've made it look so good. And you can switch, right? This is one of the best parts about the Combat Evolved, just on a total tangent, because I want you to get a Series X because I want to play games with you. You can switch between the original graphics on the Xbox and the updated one. Like at the press of a button during levels. It's so awesome.
That is cool. I want Miles Morales to have that, and the remastered for the Spider-Man game to have that, so that you could just change from like the vision, like change visual modes as you play and not have to like restart the game.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think from now on they're just going to be 4K 60.
That'd be really cool.
Like, that's just it now. It was just Miles was like the test. Because like, look at all the games that were in that state of play last night. Like, they've all said they're going to run 4K 60.
That state of play was embarrassing. We're gonna have a video on that.
Yeah, we're gonna have a video after the Pokemon Presents today, so we'll react to both of them in one video. But
I was gonna say this. Just breaking news. This happened while we were recording. I just got a notification about it. The PS Plus games got announced for.
What are they? Oh my god.
Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake's on there, so I'm gonna get that. And then it's the PS4 version, so I reckon you can upgrade it to the PS5 version for free. So I'm gonna do it. Just because my friend keeps shouting at me to play that game, and I keep saying I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to spend the money. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. Now I have no excuse, so I will be playing it.
It's not the upgraded version.
It's the PS4 version, but then there's a free PS5 upgrade, is what they said. So you download the PS4 version, upgrade it to PS5.
It's not upgradable. If you get it through PS Plus, it's not upgradable. But we were having a conversation about this. Like this is actually still kind of counts. We're talking about Final Fantasies, and we were like. They're like, well, not even Final Fantasies, but just like console RPGs in general. Like the other example we had was The Witcher. And we're like, these are games that you need to put like 200, 300 hours into it. And it's just, they're so difficult to get into because not many, well, I mean, from both of our perspectives, like we have uni and work and do this. Like we don't have that amount of time to put into a game to get into it. So it's just like, that's why I prefer games like Pokemon, because they are very easy to just like, you jump in and you know what you're getting into before you've even bought the game. Like, you know, it's just going to be, you've got to catch Pokemon and like become the, like, I forgot that. Oh my god, I'm a fake fan. I've forgotten the name. Pokemon Master. There we go. Got it. Right. Yeah. But that's the whole point.
I didn't even know that, and I said it. Can I? What I will say. We'll move on to movies after I say this. Have you said everything you want to say about games?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just say my piece about the 200 million hour long RPGs, and then we'll move on, because full disclosure, I paid money for The Witcher 3. So I watched the Witcher series on Netflix, and I was like, this is so cool. I want to play this game. Bought the game for like £15. Bought the season pass. I think that was like £15 as well. So I got all the DLC, jumped into the game, and I really thought it was cool. The combat isn't like anything special. So I have actually played The Witcher partway through, but not very far, because like we were just saying, there's just so much of it, and I don't have that time. And that's fine. Like, The Witcher is still a great game. The bit that I played really sticks out in my memory. I did the Bloody Baron quest, the one that everyone talks about. Everyone's like, oh my god, the Bloody Baron quest is a really good quest. It sticks out in my mind. I remember that as one of my like bigger things that I've done in games, and I thought it was great and really cool. But as for like engaging in every single mechanic over 200 hours, I just don't have that time. I wish I did. Final Fantasy, the only Final Fantasy game I've ever played is Final Fantasy 15. It's free with the PS Plus collection. I'm well aware that isn't one of the preferred Final Fantasy games. So, you know, I know that isn't like the best way to judge the series, but I played that and I couldn't get on with the combat system. So I stopped playing with that as well. But I enjoyed the style of the game and presentation. So I am going to jump into Final Fantasy VII. I think it's a good thing that we've got these 100-hour-long RPGs and stuff, because some people do have the time. Like, some people that will be their one game they buy a year. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that at all. Like, I think anybody that has that time, more power to you. I'm just like, I struggle with them.
Power to you, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I struggle specifically because I don't have the time to put into them. Like, a 20-hour God of War is way more like appealing to me than a 200-hour Final Fantasy. I would happily play Final Fantasy if I had the time, but I don't.
the one I don't know if we can call it an RPG just because I feel like it's disrespectful to real RPGs, but the one sort of franchise that I'm really into that I have been spending upwards of 100 hours in is actually Assassin's Creed, the recent Assassin's Creed RPG trilogy. Origins, I spent well over 200 hours in easily, and I love that game. I could go back and replay that game now. I love that game. Odyssey, I spent over 100 hours in that, but not because I wanted to, just because it's so grindy that you have to even get to the end. It's not a good game. Don't buy it. And then I recently got Valhalla. Really excited about Valhalla because it took good bits from Odyssey, and then it was made by the team who made Origins. And I thought, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the best one. It's not. It's also kind of shit. I played it. I finished it. I spent about
like this is our 10th episode, right?
Hours.
I've got to cut in, right? Just because this is our 10th episode, and I feel like it's become a trait at this point. It has taken Gio about half an hour to swear. That's a record.
No, it hasn't. I swore earlier.
Did you? Have I missed that?
Yeah. I think you did, but it was.
I was so proud of you then,
quiet.
bro.
I know, but yeah, no, Valhalla looks great. Don't get me wrong, it looks great, and there's elements of it that are fun, but it's a case of I opened the map, right, and I started seeing all the little blue and gold dots, and I thought, I'm never gonna finish this. Like, I'm never ever gonna see all these little things, I don't care. Like, it's not interesting to me. And Assassin's Creed needs to go back to being an action game, like an action stealth game where it's just in one big city. You've got lots of explorability within that city. We don't need the entire continent. Egypt was great because they actually put effort into it. England, in the latest one, is so bland and boring. Odyssey at least had a really cool, interesting world. It was grindy as hell, but the world was beautiful and really interesting. But I digress. That's why I'm like against 100-hour games, but that's why I don't play them as much, because I think a lot of the time I'm disappointed by them, especially Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say, you know how I like it again, because it's our 10th episode. I feel like this is almost like an anniversary of sorts, but like we know I always bring up The Last of Us Part 2, right? Just because I love that game so much. No, but this is what I was going to say about the fact I don't have time is I haven't even 100%ed The Last of Us Part 2. And like everybody that watches knows how much I love that game, and I still just haven't had enough time to go back through it and 100% it. Actually, to be fair, uni ends in April. I'll have it done by the end of April.
Well, see, this is the thing. I promise, this is the last thing we're going to say about games, and then we'll move on to movies. But this was the thing with me, was I actually still really want to play The Witcher. I just don't have the time. So at the moment, it's all uninstalled. But like I say, I've paid money for it. So one day I will go back, because I don't like spending money on things that I can't then use. So I will go back one day. Like, I know we've had lockdown, but during lockdown, I spent a lot of time on the phone. I spent a lot of time planning different things, a lot of time playing GTA, if I'm completely honest with you, online with my
You're
friends.
Obsessed with GTA, man.
I'm not obsessed with GTA. I think I just like the game because it's a good turn off your brain game. You just drive around and shoot.
Yeah, that's true. We were saying like RPGs, they take like you do have to concentrate to play an RPG, whereas somewhat like putting loads of hours.
Yeah,
into
especially
GTA.
things like The Witcher, where there's so many mechanics to engage with, which is a good thing. I'm glad that is a thing, but there's so much to get your head around it. It's like you've really got to dedicate time to it, and I didn't have that time. Like, but let's move on.
Let's go.
We might at the end of the video come back and talk about what we're currently playing. But for now, let's move on to, actually, do you want to do movies or TV first?
I mean, they both kind of fall under the same bracket for me.
Not for me.
Well, actually,
for me, they're two completely different.
No. Actually, to be fair, there is a bit of a difference for TV for me now I think about it.
Okay, should we do TV first then?
Yeah, sure. I can tell you what instantaneously got me into TV. I didn't watch TV, and then I watched Friends. My mum went on about it as soon as it appeared on Netflix. I was like, I'm not gonna like this, and I think I'm now watching it for like the 10th time.
What?
Right, I'm one of these people. Right, let me explain it. Because of Friends, I've watched How I Met Your Mother. I've watched Big Bang Theory. I've watched New Girl. Like those kind of sitcom style things. They're the things like, you know how you just said you use GTA to switch off your brain. I do that with sitcoms. So like I don't really watch new shows unless it's something like The Flash or Arrow. Well, I mean Arrow's ended now, but like they're the new shows I watch.
WandaVision.
True. Also WandaVision. Now I've got to put it up there now at this point.
I love Friends. I do love Friends. Don't get me wrong. I just when I think of TV, I think of like
1 second, I'll be back.
So I like
I've got to find something.
Edit this bit out.
No.
Finding something. I thought he was just gone. I was like, where's he going?
No. I have the whole thing on Blu-ray.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Well, when it leaves Netflix, I need a way to watch it.
True. For me, I do like Friends, but like stuff like sitcoms, I enjoy them, but they're like my switch off thing. I'm like, sitcom. I don't love them like that. For me, one of the TV shows that I watched, and it's a kids show, but I only really watched it as an adult, like in its entirety. And me and my good friend Taryn, we both love this, and its follow-up show is Avatar.
I knew that was coming before you even said it.
It's so slept on, I'm telling you, man. Like, it's got such a good, like, beautiful story, amazing characters. Yes, it's all animated, but it doesn't matter. Like, the animation makes it better, in my opinion. Like, it wouldn't quite work as a live action type thing. The lore of it.
Tell them to the people who made the movie.
Yeah, the movie is shit. Don't watch the movie. But like,
I actually
the
like
show
the movie.
is 10 out of 10.
I haven't watched the show. I've only watched the movie and I actually kind of liked it.
Please just, oh fuck me, just watch the show. Just watch the show and trust me.
Anytime, anywhere, Gio.
Oh, you nasty bastard. But nah, the show is amazing, and The Legend of Korra is another one that I watched after Avatar, and that is great. Also, definitely recommend watching that if you're into
been going through
Avatar.
My Netflix to see what I'm watching, just to remind me of anything.
Oh, I've got loads of stuff. But yeah, definitely the Avatar stuff. Recently, I've got into anime as well. Like a lot of like Japanese cartoons.
Hate anime. I don't know why. I just hate unless I watched Pokemon growing up, but then since
I think you probably hate the perception of anime. A lot of people hate the idea of what anime is.
No.
Like
my brother loves it. Like, he spends so much time watching it, and I'm just like, I don't get why you like this.
The thing is, I think like in the West, like, because I used to have this perception that anime was like really weird, but it's not. Anime literally.
Oh no, I don't think it's weird at all. I grew up watching the Pokemon anime. Like, I do, like, there are animes that I like, but I'm just like, there are some that I'm just like some, like, because my brother watches loads of them. He's watched some ones that I'm like, why is this a thing?
Oh, okay. Nah, I don't watch stuff like that, but like
also not in like a weird way, but as in like it's like one of the ones he's talking about is like Your Line April. Like, it's some dude who's deaf who then gets like he can play the piano and then falls in love with this girl, and then as soon as he starts to fall back in love with music because he's deaf, the girl then dies. I'm like, that's not enjoyable to watch. Like, that's just tragic.
I reckon I'd enjoy that. I might have to watch that one more time. But my experience with anime is very, very limited. So if anyone's got any really good animes for me, just drop them in the comments, please, because I need more. I'm obsessed. But like the one that I'm currently rewatching because I love it so much is Psyche K. It's so good. It's kind of like it's not a sitcom. Basically, the character is a psychic. And he goes to school, and it's just about his life. It's a comedy, but it's like perfect in every way. I love that series. It's so great. But I just, full disclosure before we carry on, Avatar is one of my favorite series of all time ever in the world. Like, not many things come close to or top Avatar for me. Just say it. But yeah, so Avatar's great. I think another big one. It's a Netflix original. It's not Stranger Things. I do love Stranger Things, but I don't think that like made me love TV. I think it was Daredevil that really made me go, oh my god.
You just stole what I was gonna say.
I'm so sorry, but like Daredevil was one of the first things that I watched and made me go, damn, like this is what you can do with an episodic narrative.
This is right. What the way I want to explain, because like we both got stuff to say about Daredevil, because we both like. I think if I had to order them, I'd say How I Met Your Mother is my favorite show of all time, but like, and then Daredevil. But they're such no, right. I just want to point this out.
They're completely different, though.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. So I'm like, one, I know why you hate How I Met Your Mother, and there's a way to rectify it. Like, you've told me why.
No, I love How I Met Your Mother.
No. You said you hate the ending.
Hate the ending.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. There is an alternate ending. So I basically retconned it. So the alternate ending is the actual ending in my head, so that it ends well. But like that and Daredevil are two very different things. But Daredevil, like, this was like, what was it, 2017? I didn't watch Daredevil until like it was like out for 2 years at least.
Same.
It was.
I watched it late.
I think it was in that gap between season 2 and season 3 coming out. I binge watched season 1 and 2, and it blew my mind because
it's weird because that's exactly what I did, and we didn't even know each other at this point. So that's crazy that we both did the exact same thing.
But yeah, it was because like like by that point I was so used to watching like the MCU. I was like, this isn't going to be any different. This is just going to be the same as the MCU. And then I was like, oh my god,
this is dark as a motherfucker. This is
I just love it.
Really scary.
Like, Charlie Cox is incredible. Vincent D'Onofrio is incredible. The fact that he's in Spider-Man 3, I think we spoke about it on the podcast. I lost my mind. Like, it was just, I love it. It's
gonna be cool.
I'm so, like, honestly, if they don't bring back Bullseye and actually do the Daredevil versus Bullseye in a movie, in a TV show or anything, then I think it's probably one of the greatest disrespects in TV history. Because everyone, like anyone that's watched Daredevil is like, it's incredible. Like I get why they cancelled. I kind of get why they cancelled Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. But Daredevil, no, right? Because Iron Fist wasn't that well critiqued. No, but it's in like I get it from a Netflix
Iron Fist is so good.
Right.
People's beef with Iron Fist is so good.
Season 1, I will agree, was good. I haven't watched season 2, so I'm not going to comment on that. But from what I've seen, it wasn't very well critically reviewed. Luke Cage, I haven't watched any.
There's bits in it.
I haven't watched any of Luke Cage, but season 1 was decent, and then season 2 was apparently absolute trash. I don't know. I'm not getting involved because I know.
My problem with Luke Cage, I've addressed this in previous episodes of the podcast and different shows, right? Is that they had a sick villain with Cottonmouth. The actor, I don't know his name, but he's in other things, and he's like genuinely quite menacing, and like he's just such a good actor. And then partway through, they kill him off to have I think it's his sister become the main villain, and that really like took me out of the series and made me not as interested in it. So I watched about half of season 1 and then stopped. I might go back to it, to be fair, because the lady, there's nothing wrong with the lady, she's really, really good as well, but I was enjoying that villain so much that it was a bit like, what the fuck, like, why have you done that? You know, it didn't make any sense to me. And then one series that I will always stand by, right, that really got done so dirty is Jessica Jones, man. That series got done dirty. I don't know what happened in season 3.
I'm like,
oh my god,
I get why Iron Fist and Luke Cage has, because like their second seasons were trash. I kind of got that, but season 2 of Jessica Jones was pretty decent, and then season 3 was bad.
Good.
Yeah, season 3 was bad. But it was still good and like
so bad.
I don't get how they go from making Daredevil so flawless, like every season of that is incredible, to then doing what they did with Jessica Jones. I'm like, that just, I don't understand. Like when they're all ran by the same people, I'm like, I don't get how that's happened.
Yeah, man, it was shambolic, but we don't want to be too negative. We want to talk about the things that we do like. So we'll quickly go back into Daredevil, and then I'll get into one of my other little sort of favorite things, and then I'll let Finton take over for a minute. But Daredevil is just great because it was different. I think it came at a time when like the MCU fatigue wasn't like setting in, but it was starting to fade in a little bit. People were a bit like, okay, you know, we're kind of having enough of this. And Daredevil came in, and it was like brutality, fucking killing people.
Dude on a
he didn't kill people, but he basically killed people. Yeah, the only downside to Daredevil, I would say, is that season 3, unless you watched the ensemble show that they did, you don't understand the beginning of season 3. But I did watch
This is like the
that
weirdest
show.
thing, right? I've never been able to explain this. So I did binge Daredevil, but for some reason, like I semi struggled. Like I love the show, but there are parts where I would just kind of zone out, and then I'd be like, right, I'll come back and watch it
Same.
later. Like I would stop halfway through an episode and be like, right, I'll just come back because I know, like I was enjoying it, but there was like I think the darkness of it for me at that time kind of like fatigued my brain a little bit. But then I watched Defenders, and I watched like it was what was it, 6 episodes? I think I watched them all back to back. Like, I don't know why, but for some reason I could just binge Defenders, but Daredevil I struggled so much with.
What?
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't like Defenders at all. I think Defenders was
The thing
trash.
is, though, Defenders was like...
But
oh, really?
it was like... It was okay, but it wasn't as good as Daredevil. I was like, I hadn't watched any any of the other Marvel shows at the time, so my standard was Daredevil. So like I watched Defenders, I was like, this is horrendous. But then I realized, oh wait, Daredevil's the standout, not that Defenders is bad.
Definitely. On the subject of like shows that we like, shows that we love, I've got 2 more, right? Ooh. And after that, I promise I'll let you talk, right? I won't spend too much time on them, but the first one that I'm going to mention is Gotham. I think Gotham is a really great show, very underrated, and that really got me into TV because I was like invested season after season as to like what's going on. They took liberties with the Batman lore, you know, like they changed some things, like having Bruce Wayne as a child and then having a lot of Batman's major villains already be adults is already a risk. But they do it so well.
Done
they
so well, yeah. It was just incredible.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. The other show, I was talking to my friend Lachlan the other day. He's a really talented photographer. We're going to have him on the podcast at some point, guys, so stay tuned for that. But
yeah,
he's like us. He's like me and Finton. He's really into like Marvel, DC, all of this stuff, right? And we were talking about the shows, and he goes to me. He's like, I think Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is trash. And I was like, whoa. Like, whoa.
I agree with him.
Really
I agree with him.
See, I don't. I think it's so good. Yes, it is very much cheesy. I'd say it's cheesy and a bit campy.
Think the biggest issue with
I think that was the point.
The biggest issue with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I see, as I've just yeeted my watch off, lovely. The biggest issue with...
That's happened to me.
Honestly, man, it's so annoying. I think the biggest issue I've seen with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is that it spent so long trying to work with the movies. Like, it should have just been its own thing. Like, you look at like the Daredevil stuff, it's like, it didn't, it was like, no, screw the MCU, we're doing our own story. Whereas Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like, no, we've got to at least try and keep it at least slightly hinged towards the MCU. And I was like, that's just not going to work.
Well, the thing was, though, with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was obviously it took place after Coulson dies. Well, no, he does die, actually.
Nice.
I'd say, listen, right? This is my argument as to why Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually good, right? Those first, maybe, I think it's the first 2 or 3 seasons where it's all centered around like the mystery of how Coulson comes back, Hydra, S.H.I.E.L.D. dismantling and becoming just Hydra. Really, really good. I get why people got turned. Some people didn't like that though. Some people actually prefer it later on in the series. I personally love it all. But I think for some people, when they started messing around with alternate timelines, going into space, all that sort of stuff, that was too much for some people. And I do understand that. But I really love that show. I think it's really great. I think it's really fun. The last season was just came out recently. I just finished the show the other week, and the end was like quite emotional. Like, these are characters that I've watched for years, and then basically I've been watching the show for years, and then I got turned off of actual normal TV. So you come to the TV and you watch what you want to watch at a set time on a set day every week.
I haven't done that in years.
Same. So I stopped following the show basically, but then it's all on Disney Plus, so you should definitely go and watch it if you have access. Watched it all from like beginning to end, and I was like,
I lied.
This show is great.
One of the only show I ever, like, in recent history that I actually was like, right, it's on now. I didn't watch it at the TV. I watched it on E4 at the time, but it was Gotham. Like season 5 of Gotham, I was like, right, it's 9:00 on a Tuesday. I'm watching Gotham.
Even Gotham, I didn't do it with. I watched all of Gotham back to back on Netflix.
Oh, I watched season 1 to 3 back to back, and then 4 and 5 I watched as they came out.
Damn, fair play.
Because the thing with Gotham season 2 was there was the weird rights thing in the UK, wasn't there? So like it was originally airing on Channel 5, and then it was meant to go to Netflix, but then didn't go to Netflix, and then it was on E4, as it was shown again on E4, but then like barely anyone watched it because they didn't advertise it, and then eventually it ended up on Netflix. So it was like it was on season 4 in the UK, in the US, when it was airing season 2 in the UK. I was like,
there was a lot of stuff going on.
It was so weird. Again, it's like, you know, what's all about random knowledge I just shouldn't know. That right there.
Yeah, like I don't know why you knew that, but fair play. But tell me some of your favorite man. I think I've talked for too long now.
I think you've kind of got like Gotham was definitely up there. You've reminded me of Gotham. Like I do need to go back and watch Gotham. I think as soon as the uni's out of the way, I'm just gonna start binge watching shows again because I need to, because I've missed actually watching Gotham because I started it and then kind of fell off it because uni got too busy. But I think one of the movies, not movies, we're on TV, Finton, you retard.
Movies is next.
Yeah, movies is next. I think one of the, I've got my DVD rack here. I'm trying to see if there's any films down here that not films, TV shows that I got on. I think mainly it was the Arrowverse for me, to be fair. Like,
tell me why. I've never watched Arrow.
Right. So I started watching it, season 3 of The Flash, season 4 of Arrow, and I think it was season 2 at the time of Supergirl. So I had a lot of catching up to do. But like when you get to the end of the shows, I'm gonna be like, when you get to like where they are now, I'm gonna be honest, they're trash. Like I just watched The Flash now because I've put 6 seasons worth of time into it. I'm like, I enjoy it still, but I'm like, it's nowhere near as good as it was. But like Arrow season 2, oh wait, no, it was Arrow season 5 I was watching because I remember why. That was why it was so good, because the first season of Supergirl is great when I started watching it. The third season of The Flash, everybody hates, but I love it because I was too naive to see what was coming, and it absolutely blew my mind. Even though looking back, I'm like, you're an idiot. You should have seen that. And then season 5 of Arrow is the best. He's literally like in the top 2 of all 8 seasons. Like when I started watching it, everything was so good. So it's like it got me into it and got me like sucked in. So I've caught up and watched everything of it. Like, admittedly, it's not good now. The only thing I would say that's good now is Superman and Lois, because Superman and Lois is just incredible.
Still need to watch it.
You honestly, anybody that's like meh on CW shows because of like Flash and Arrow being trash the last couple of seasons, seriously, I implore you to watch Superman and Lois because it's
these
so
VPNs,
good.
Man, they're expensive, you know. I was looking at VPN last night, it's like 11.
You could just wait for it to come to the
like
UK, but I'm just... Oh yeah, but I get Surfshark. Also, Surfshark, if you want to sponsor us, thank you very much, please. But mine was like £44 to have for 27 months. For over 2.5 years, like, and it works perfectly as well. Like, all you have to do though, you have to watch it on like your Mac, like, because otherwise it tries to get you to download the app on like your phone and your iPad, which you can't get because the VPN doesn't change where you are in like location wise. Like on
That's
the App
trash.
Store.
No, I need one that I can download onto my TV.
Yeah, you could. You just have to use like a Safari on it rather than the app.
No, definitely not. But anyway. So what else though? What other shows do you love?
I'm one of those people that I don't really watch new shows. Like, I'll watch a new show like maybe once every year. Otherwise, I just spend my time rewatching stuff. Because I'm one of those people, like, especially like I don't know why, but I've watched Friends so many times at this point. but somehow Chandler still makes me laugh every single time. I don't understand how. Nice eye roll there. I saw that. But like,
Chandler is funny.
I don't know why. It's just, it genuinely, like, it's always just like, it's that thing I can go to where I'm like, it's not going to be like I might like this, I might not. I'm like, if I watch this, I know I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to laugh. So I'm like, that's kind of what I do. Especially nowadays when everything's just like, it's definitely. Like, especially being in lockdown. I'm like, I prefer to watch something that makes me laugh than something where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like this.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What I will say is, I like WandaVision a lot. I'm not saying it's like changed my ideas about TV or anything like that, but I really like WandaVision. And next week is the last.
Yeah.
When are you seeing this? They're seeing this on Saturday, right? So yeah, next week will be the last episode of WandaVision. And what I'm planning on doing is, when that episode airs, I will watch it. We'll review it as usual, and then I'm gonna go back and rewatch the entire season, like back to back.
We could do a season review if you guys want to see it. Like, I'd be happy to go back and watch them all. So if you wanted us to do like a season in review, like where we actually go back and watch them back to back and see how they work, let us know down there. But yeah,
we could do that. That's a good idea. I hadn't even thought of that. I literally just wanted to watch them for pleasure. But yeah, we can definitely review them if we're doing it anyway. We've got a bunch of, to be fair, just quickly, let's just talk about a bunch of stuff that we've got coming. So we've got, well, you're watching now, we've got the podcast. I'm currently doing a Spider-Man PS5 review. It's all recorded. I just need to stitch it all together. We're going to probably do a Miles Morales review as well, just because we love that game. Obviously, any new games that come out that we play, we will obviously review. We want to do a retrospective on God of War, talk about God of War and review that. Just Finton needs to finish the game.
It's so long, man. I don't
have
that
the long.
time.
It's really not that long.
It just is though. Like, especially when I only have like 3 hours here or 3 hours there, it does like add up to being quite a while.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But yeah, we've got that coming. We're gonna do a video. I think probably tomorrow at some point of the Nintendo. Is it the Nintendo Pokemon thing?
It's the Pokemon Presents
State of Play.
The Sony State of Play, because it's weird. They've gone from like, oh yeah, we're gonna have no game announcements to have 3 in 1 week. Like,
yeah, but there's loads of stuff coming from us, so we're busy, and then obviously we've got uni and work and all this other stuff surrounding us. But it's all right, we'll get it all done. we love it, so it's fine. But right. that's all the sort of stuff that we've got coming. Yes, I'm looking forward to movies because I feel like movies, there's a lot. There's a lot that I can get into.
Thing is, right, I'm weird, like in the sense that I like a lot of movies that people don't. Like, I'm aware of this fact. I don't know why, I just do. But then the thing is, the weirdest thing that people don't like when I tell people this, and I think I've mentioned it on here before, but I don't know, so I'll mention it again. But like, loads of people are like, oh, why do you like The Amazing Spider-Man 2? I'm like, because that is the film that got me into superheroes. That it genuinely did. Like, I hadn't watched any of the MCU before I watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I solely watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that movie just stop, bro.
I'm sorry.
Stop bullying me like this.
Shit.
It's not, though. It's bad, I'll give you that, but it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It has some incredible bits to it.
The only good thing about that movie,
if you say it's Gwen dying, then I will end this episode right here.
God forbid. Is the suit is really cool.
Yeah, I love the suit, but I love the suit. Like, I hate the first Amazing Spider-Man. Just by the way, like I hate.
Vincent has a thing for suits. He told me, right. Listen to this. He told me.
I'm scared. What are you gonna say?
That he doesn't like Christopher Nolan's Batman because he thinks the suit is too fucking tight. Like, what? What kind of bullshit?
Right. Like, there are 2 reasons I don't like Christopher Nolan's Batman. 1, because the voice is so bad, and 2,
oh yeah, the voice.
It's so bad. It's horrendous. Oh. And his suit, like you look at like Batfleck, you look at Michael Keaton, you look at who else does it? Like, I can't include the Arkham Batman because he's not a real person, but that is the best interpretation of a Batman there's been. Fact. Who's the other one? But like,
his suit's awesome.
But none of them like have the thing that the Christopher Nolan suit does. Like it genuinely feels like he's being squashed into that suit. Like from like the chest down, it's incredible, the best one there is from like the chest down. But that mask just looks so. I'm gonna get roasted in the comments now.
The bat chest. Finton told me that his favorite shot in any Batman movie is the George Clooney Batman movies where they zoom in on the bat bomb.
I've never actually seen that film. I've never actually seen the George Clooney Batman.
Have you? Oh my god, no. It's so shit. Don't watch it.
I know I need to though. Like loads of people have told me it's so bad that it's good. Like you need to watch it.
Actually, I've got them on DVD. I'll find them for you, and you can borrow them. So you don't waste any money because they're so shit, but it's funny. You should watch them at least once. But let's talk about like our favorite like movies that really like that we just love. Yeah, for me, and this goes back to when I was a little kid, and then I've got more appreciation for them now. There's loads, but the first one I'm going to talk about is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Spider-Man 1 and 2. Chef's kiss. Spider-Man 3, I want to, but I can't quite because it's not as good, but it's still good. Like, it's got trash elements to it, but it's not a trash movie. There's just bits of it that like emo Peter Parker, despite it being really cringy, is really iconic. Like, I present to you emo Peter Parker. It's brilliant.
I love that we've been in lockdown, so I can't get my hair good because I can just do that on demand now. I love it.
Yeah, like it's just normal behavior for Finton now.
Just emo Peter Parker.
Those movies. There's a great guy on YouTube called High Top Films, and he loves those movies too. And he did like a breakdown of the trilogy, and I watched that, and it made me appreciate the trilogy even more. And I'm gonna go and rewatch the original trilogy.
I didn't watch them until I was older. Like I have them
really.
now.
I watched them when I was a kid.
I have them now because I found them. I think I found them in HMV for like a tenner on Blu-ray. I was like, fair enough, may as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I can't look at. I can't not. It was good. It was good. I'll give you that. But
man's got that.
They're good. Like I would definitely agree they're good, but they weren't. This is the thing. I think for me they just weren't groundbreaking. But then I like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, so my opinion's invalid.
What?
The second one is incredible. The second one is incredible. I'll give you that. That is flawless. The first one, I'd say like a good 7 out of 10. Like I genuinely enjoyed it. But the third one was trash.
Do you know why the first one is so amazing for me, right? I feel like the first Spider-Man movie did what Batman Arkham Asylum did for video games.
Oh,
so like Batman Arkham Asylum made superhero games valid and valuable to produce. Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man made superhero movies no longer like a risk or anything like because it was so good and it made so much money that they were like, yes. Honestly, but that movie is genuinely amazing.
I think my biggest problem with it though is I watched it. I think I watched it after I watched Homecoming. I think. Don't hold me to that.
Homecoming, yes.
But
yes.
My biggest issue with that, and it's entirely my own fault for watching them when I did, but it's the CG in them, and I know that's not their fault, that's not anybody's fault, but that was my biggest issue. Is like you see him in The Amazing Spider-Man, you see him in Homecoming, and everything is just so much more fluid. Like I get that it's a sign of when it was made, and that's entirely not their fault, but that's one of the things that I'm like, it's difficult for me to watch now because the CG, it's not sloppy, but it's clearly outdated. Is my biggest thing.
I kind of get where you're coming from, I guess, but I have to disagree. But then again, I haven't watched them in about a year or two, right? So in my head, they look better than they actually do look. So I'm gonna go and rewatch them, and I'll let you know if I agree. But this segues brilliantly into another franchise that everything about it I just love. Apart from, I'll get into it, but the Harry Potter franchise. You don't seem very excited about that.
Right. It's because
like, that was not what
No. I'm trying to process in my head, right? Because I absolutely adore the Harry Potter, just everything to do with Harry Potter, right? But I don't think the movies are that good. I absolutely adore them, but I don't think the movies are that good. The movies are great for what they are.
Right.
But they're not like have you seen the thing that is ruining me? Right, is have you seen the TikTok of this thing where it's like J.K. Rowling didn't write Harry Potter; she wrote Star Wars with different magic. Have you seen this?
No.
Because it has blown. No, it's absolutely blown my perception of Harry Potter lately because it is literally just Star Wars but with magic rather than the Force.
It's different. It's different enough that it's its own beautiful magical thing.
Dude that's orphaned with his uncle, Luke and Harry. He's then found by a bearded dude who will take him to learn more about magic. But he will learn more about that from a magic dude who is mostly high. Hagrid and Ben, and then what's it? Who is it in? Oh, Christ, it's Dumbledore, and then who's the one in Star Wars? Oh, God.
Ben? Yoda?
Yoda, that's it. Yoda, yeah, I couldn't think. And then the uncle, I don't know, right? I'm trying to remember the thing in my head. Then it's
fake fan.
The uncles both disagree. The uncle, whatever the uncle's name is in Star Wars, they're there for 2 minutes, and then Uncle Thingy from Harry Potter. He's then friends with a girl where there's a weird sexual tension, but he never actually does anything about it. Hermione and Leia, and then she's in love with the best friend, Ron and Han. It is literally Star Wars. It is entirely just.
There's enough differentiation.
No, it isn't. It's just Star Wars, but it's with magic rather than the Force. It genuinely is.
You do you, but
like I love Harry Potter, but watching that in the last couple of weeks has changed my perception.
Fuck all that. Don't listen to him. He's chatting shit.
I'm gonna find the TikTok.
My thing with Harry Potter is. No, please don't. I can't be asked.
I'm going to.
But my thing with Harry Potter is like. Oh, fuck's sake. I grew up with it and I just loved it. And oh man, I love all of the movies. I've read all the books. I haven't read them in English, to be fair, so I've never had the like pure Harry Potter experience, I suppose. But I've read them all.
I just found a photo right in my camera roll, which will prove my point entirely. Why is it that tight? Why? Why is it that? God. Why is it there?
Why do you have that?
Because I sent it to you two when I was trying to. I sent it to you and Luke when I was trying to justify that my point was at least valid.
We all know what he's been doing.
No, I just have so many TikTok saves at some point. I don't think I've saved the TikTok, which is really annoying. Damn it! I'll find it at some point.
Okay, while he's trying to find a TikTok, I'm just gonna rattle off a few more of my favorites. Lord of the Rings, amazing.
Incredible.
The MCU as a whole, like I love the MCU. I think I get that people are fatigued of it now, but I'm still like amazed at the thing of like this movie connects into this one, and then if you watch that movie, this other movie will make sense, and then it all circles back around to the original movie and da. I really love that. I think that's really cool. I know people are tired of it, but I like it. And something recent that I watched. I really like Into the Spider-Verse. I know it's sort of come full circle background.
It's incredible.
Background to Spider-Man, but I'm like I was saying earlier, like I'm watching anime and stuff more now, and I think I've just found a newfound appreciation for animated movies. So yeah, Into the Spider-Verse in 4K, get on with it, just do it. If you have a 4K TV, just watch it. Even if you don't have a 4K TV, it doesn't matter, just watch it anyway. It's beautiful. And on the topic of not only animated movies, but anime and Japanese things, Studio Ghibli films.
Spirited Away is one of my favorite films. I love
Ghibli
Spirited Away
films. Spirited Away, one of my favorites. Castle in the Sky, Howl's Moving Castle. I actually, in the first lockdown, watched nearly all of them.
I've only watched Spirited Away. That's it. I haven't watched any more. I know I need to.
Bro, they're all on Netflix. They're great. Porco Rosso, so good. What other ones are there? I don't really like Ponyo that much. Ponyo isn't one of my favorites. From Up on Poppy Hill is one of the absolute just best animated movies ever. Just watch them. They're great. But I'll pass it over to Finton. I think I've got out my passion. But yeah, Studio Ghibli is one of my favorite film studios ever. and I will just watch anything they put out.
It's incredible. I only have one movie now that we've spoken about like the Amazing Spider-Man and like Harry Potter and all that. I only have one movie that like genuinely ever changed my perception when I watched the film, and that was Joker.
Tell me.
It
Damn.
It broke my head because, right, so for anyone that doesn't know, I think I mentioned it in the last episode of the podcast, but Joker is he's my favorite comic book character, full stop. Like, he's like the layers that he has, and just like, he's one of those characters that you'll never understand, and I love that because you can never there's no way to ever justify his actions. There's no way to explain what he does. It is just random, and like, I absolutely adore that about a character where it's not just like, oh yeah, you know exactly what they're going to do, and it's this and this, like when there's the unexpected. And I went into Joker thinking, yeah, it'll be good. That was it. I was like, it'll be good. I came out of there genuinely feeling sympathetic for the most psychotic human being that has ever been thought up. I was like, how has that just happened? Like, it blew my mind.
That movie is great.
I absolutely love it. Like, that movie is incredible.
I want to rewatch it personally.
Yeah, I've got it.
I might.
Yeah, they've got it right here. Like, it's just my I've got my usual pile of movies just lying around.
I might buy it tonight.
I've honestly it's one of those movies that like I went into it being like, it'll be decent. I don't know where they're going with it because I watched all the trailers. Like, I don't really get the vibe that they're going for here. And then when you sit there and it's like, no, what we're trying to say is it's not his fault, it's society's fault. And I was like, I was just like I'm one of those
also,
people
Joaquin
Phoenix is incredible. Like, that's just but the thing that got me the most is I'm one of those people that if I can debate something with people, then it will instantaneously go up in my list of things I like. And me and my friends are still debating Joker to this day.
Like, the ending of Joker.
The entire of it, because there's the possibility that none of it happened. There's the possibility that it wasn't society's fault. He just broke. There's the possibility that it was society. And there's just so many different parts to it. Like, it was his mom's death that does it to him. Like, there's just so much that it could possibly be.
Doesn't he kill his mom?
Yeah. But as in like we were discussing, like whether that's taking him over the edge. That was the last straw.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was just, don't die, man. We don't need you dying.
Just carry on talking. I'll just mute.
But yeah, it was just so, I don't know, to be honest. It was one of the first movies I'd been into for a while that I came out completely shocked. Like, I went in thinking, yeah, it'll be an MCU-ish, it'll be a DCEU kind of movie. And then I would, like, as soon as it started, I was like, this is not what this is.
No.
Yeah.
That movie, I do love that movie. And you've actually reminded me of two that I forgot to mention that are two of my all-time favorite films, and I don't know how I didn't mention them. And the reason you reminded me is because Robert De Niro is in Joker, I would believe. That's right.
Yeah, he's the talk show host, yeah.
Yeah. And he is in one of, in my opinion, the best movies of all time, Goodfellas.
I've never seen Goodfellas.
Film. You need to watch it. It's a great film, gangster movie. If you like gangster movies, Goodfellas is for you. And obviously, Scarface.
Also, I do just want to say, like, it changed anything about my perception of movies, but I think my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future. It's very close, but like, really? I love Back to the Future. Of all time, it would be this or Back to the Future that would be in the debate. It would depend on the day if you ask me, but I love Back to the Future so much. Like, I only saw it last year as well, and it instantaneously went to the top of my list.
Yeah, you'd never seen it before this. Yeah. I remember.
I love it so much, and I can't work out why, but it's that film that it's like Star Wars, where it's just like you're going to enjoy it when you watch it. It's just so good.
Oh, Star Wars is also some of my favorite movies ever. I don't think I mentioned that. The fuck?
Yeah, I was surprised you hadn't brought it up. I was like, they're up there for me, but not. What? Are you all right, mate? Are you good?
We completely forgot to mention in the shows The Mandalorian.
I don't. A Mandalorian's not like I love the Mandalorian, but it wasn't like what got me into it. It was like I knew I was gonna watch it before it was even announced. Like as soon as it was like the Mandalorian's coming out, I was like, cool, I'm watching it. And it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's incredible. But I was like, I knew it would be good. I was kind of underwhelmed by season 1, to be honest. But season 2, they were like, they perfected it.
Season 1 was good.
I'm trying to work out the flipping. Literally the last thing I want to say about Joker is that it. I can't find the quote. It's killing me that I can't remember it.
Is it a bit where he's speaking
it's
to the
the
mirror?
bit before he shoots. Yeah, the bit before he shoots. Like that is the most chilling line in movie history to me.
He says like, what do you get when you cross?
Oh, what do you get when you cross a mentally ill person with a society that doesn't give a damn? You get what you effing deserve. Like that is the most impactful line I've ever heard in a movie.
And then boom, he blows his brains out.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say that because if people haven't watched it.
If you haven't watched it, then peak.
If you haven't watched it, right, it's like a tenner on Amazon. Get it.
You know what? If you haven't watched it, it is still. It's one of those films where even if you know what happens at the end, it's still
I got the line wrong.
Worth it.
I got the line wrong. It's what do you get when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash? You get what you effing deserve. That's what it is. Greatest line in movie history right there.
It is good. It is good. That whole movie is good. How it plays with like.
Also, the score. I know
it's
not something we usually talk about, but the score in Joker is incredible.
I do like the score in Joker. I like the score in a lot of films. A good film that I watched recently, it's not like changed anything for me, but it was Tenet. Tenet is pretty fun. Like it's really.
Ooh, you've just reminded me. I meant to talk about Inception because Inception, right?
Great movie.
For the weirdest reason, right? I watched Inception when it came out. I was like 10 at the time. Made no sense to me. I was like, I hate this film. I don't get it. I watched it last year. I was like, this is one of the greatest films ever made.
It is so good. I love Inception so much.
Inception.
I might rewatch that. Oh, another. Sorry,
I'm rewatching this tonight.
Shows, but
you've got
another great show that is kind of like a bit, Rick and Morty.
I was going to bring up Rick and Morty. It was on my Netflix list. I really love Rick and Morty.
Yeah. I love Rick and Morty. I've watched that like 4 or 5 times over.
My biggest issue with Rick and Morty though is how long it takes for seasons to come out. Because I kind of always forget about it, and then it comes out, and I'm like, cool, it's cool, but I'm like.
But see, I rewatch seasons like over and over again of Rick and Morty because I love it so much, and I love The Simpsons, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. It's by the people who make The Simpsons, Disenchantment on Netflix.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah, it's Matt Groening, isn't it?
Really, really good. Yes. You should definitely watch that. It's so good and overall really enjoyable. But do you want to talk about music? Because I know it's not really pop culture, but
my biggest issue is this is a very long episode. Like it's already an hour and a half.
True. Should we just name some of our favorite artists then, just because I've brought it up?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few, like, I wouldn't say loads. Like, I do like a lot of artists, but there are only, like, 4 or 5 that I consistently listen to nowadays. Like, it's McFly. For me, it's McFly, Busted, Ed Sheeran, and then recently All Time Low. I've gone to All Time Low quite a lot. But,
I've never listened to All Time Low.
All Time Low is, like, a more rocky version of McFly, basically.
I'm not a massive fan of rock, but
for me, music is kind of person rather than a rock itself.
Ooh. Fair play. Music is long for me. Like anyone who knows me knows, like my love for music is deep. Finton isn't as much on the music thing as I am.
No. Right. No, the reason I have such a small band of this, and I feel like this needs to be explained. The reason I have such a small band is because I like the music. For me is music that I can like participate in. So like stuff I can sing along with, stuff I can play instruments to, because like if people don't know, I play guitar and I sing as well. So it means it gives me a very narrow band of stuff because of my like vocal range and the kind of stuff that I'm into and can sing. Like Ed Sheeran was basically the person that taught me how to sing, because I would spend basically all day every day like listening and singing along to that. So I do like a lot of stuff. It's just don't listen to a lot because I prefer stuff that I can sing along with.
No, that's fair. I full disclosure, I also do love Ed Sheeran. I love his Divide album, but I'm more into like rap and stuff myself. More into like American stuff at the moment, but I do like the UK British rap scene. But just a couple of like my personal all-time favorites from the UK. I'm gonna say Chip, Skepta, J Hus, Wretch 32. He's amazing. Wretch 32 is just one of the best globally. If you like, go and listen to his albums. And Avellino is amazing. And then a singer that I really like, Billie Eilish. I think Billie Eilish's songs are really, really cool. And I love Elo Milo. Nah, trust me, go listen to Elo Milo. You'll like Elo Milo, and you'll like there's another one. I can't remember what it's called now. Bellyache. Bellyache's really, really good.
Okay. I'll give them a go because you suggested it. I don't particularly like it myself, but I'll give them a go.
I think she's just like person as a creative. Like her music's very different, and her clothing lines are very different. But I think it's really cool, and I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Personal favorites and people that I'm listening to a lot at the moment. Again, mainly from the US. Jaden Smith. I love Jaden Smith. I'm listening to a lot of Trippie Redd at the moment. Yeah, man, his music's amazing. Trust me, his music's crazy. Willow Smith.
I didn't actually realize he did music. To be fair.
Yeah, not loads of people did know about it, but I think he is pretty big. Like, but yeah, Willow Smith is great. Definitely, I need to listen to more of her, but I the bits I have heard from her I do like. But Trippie Redd, I'm listening to a lot. One of my all-time favorites is Juice WRLD. I love all of his albums. He's great. Damn, who else am I listening to? I'm listening to a lot of Slow Tie as it goes. But I know he's from the UK. And I recently re-listened to Post Malone's Beer Bongs and Bentleys because I really like that.
I actually do like that album. Yeah, I like Beer Bongs and Bentleys. That's
a great album.
That was great.
That album has nothing but hits on it.
I know it's not like I know just like to make it look like I have a little bit more music days. I do really like The Weeknd as well.
Oh, The Weeknd, yeah.
I really like The Weeknd.
Chanel loves The Weeknd. I've only listened to his most recent album, but I do really like it. I'm just going through
one of my biggest things was I did listen to The Weeknd quite a lot, but when I saw his Super Bowl halftime show and realized that's his actual talent and not like auto-tune and stuff like that is genuinely him, I was like, oh my god.
I'm surprised you like The Weeknd because he's like very, very, very sexual.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I don't listen to him a lot, but it's like if I'm like I want something different, then like
if you want to
like blinded by the lights and stuff, I listen to it quite a lot. Like,
what a tune!
I'm looking. I've got him here. I'm just trying to see which songs I actually listen to. I Can't Feel My Face. I listen to quite a lot. Pray for Me as well. It's decent.
I can't feel my face. Yeah, that's fire. I really like Dominic Fike. I told Finton to go listen to Dominic Fike.
I forgot.
He still hasn't.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
If anyone doesn't know who Dominic Fike is, trust me, you do know. His song was on the radio like the entire summer, like 2 years ago. 3 nights at the motel. That one, you all know that song. Finton apparently doesn't, but
I don't listen to the radio. Like I've said, for like 3 years, I've just only listened to like McFly and Busted. That's it.
Same, to be fair. X is really good. I really liked XXXTentacion, but obviously, rest in peace. Same goes for Juice WRLD.
I have a lot of all time.
Who's really good? Baby
Star Wars. I have a lot of Star Wars. Just like Star Wars, the score of Star Wars. Just
what is man listening to the Star Wars?
No, because when I was building my Death Star, I was like, I want to listen to. When I was building my Death Star, I was like, I want to have the Star Wars score whilst I'm building it.
I feel you. Also one of my another all-time favorite. I'll leave it on it. There's loads of artists that I listen to, but
yeah, I think we're getting a bit too long now.
Yeah, Lil Uzi Vert is great. I love Lil Uzi, and I'll listen to his music. Anytime he drops anything, I will listen to it. If it's I'm not blind. Like if he drops something that I'm like, what the fuck is this? Then I won't listen to it. But I like most of his music.
Surely it would be I'm not deaf. Considering it's music.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. That was so stupid. I'm so stupid that sentence confused me. I was like, huh? But But yeah, that's if you wanted like a full episode on music, then let me know and I'll get a couple of people roped in that listen to a lot of music. Finton's obviously got like a selective range, so I'll get a couple of friends of mine in and we'll discuss.
Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter person rather than like rap and stuff, so I'm kind of useless in that.
I love it all. But I think we've talked about everything we want to talk about.
I'd hope so, because we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, but it's work.
We were like, oh yeah, we'll make sure that we started making our episodes shorter from now on, and they're just getting longer.
Nah, because we've got lots of short content. Sometimes you need that long video to listen to.
Sure.
But I think we're all done, man. Like, should we wrap up, let everybody go off and carry on with their day?
Yeah, let them have their lives back.
Fantastic. let them go back. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. Obviously, like we said, this is episode 10, so 10 episodes deep. We're not stopping. We're going to keep on going. We really
So I do just want to say thank you to everyone for getting us to 45 subscribers. That's actually mental. Like, that's just nuts to look at. We were like, Jesus.
Yeah,
some of our videos have had like we've nearly hit 1,000 views, like as a channel as a whole. We're like, that's mental. That's absolutely mental.
Yeah, it's great. Obviously, we do want to keep growing and stuff. So keep liking and sharing, and subscribing, doing all that good stuff, all that YouTube stuff. We're not really like, we're not a marketing team. We're not going to scream at you to keep doing it, but obviously we appreciate it when you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure you comment down below. Tell us your favorite movies, games, shows, music. At me into the music ones because Finton won't understand none of it. But I'm just playing.
And then all the comments are about McFly and Busted.
I bet there will be. I was just about to say, I bet there will be McFly, Busted, and Back to the Future.
Honestly, they will be.
Did I just say McBusted?
Yes, you did. McBusted were a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, McBusted were a thing.
Okay, cool. I thought I was going crazy.
No, McBusted were a thing.
Cool. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming and chatting with us. So yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Have a great day. Bye.
Goodbye.